We're recording, and this is my tier list. You guys are just going to fucking complain, all right? First of all, Kronika is the toppest tier character, all right? Rule number one, Kronika is the master of reality. Back up, okay? Kronika is the best character in the game. She's so good, you can't even play as her. You can only fight her. That's how powerful she is. They're like, nah, you can't fuck with Kronika. She's too strong. So if you want to win easy, then pick Kronika. You will have to hack the game, but when you do, you will win all of the matches in the world. All right? That out of the way. Let's move on. I have my tier list separated into 4 tiers. My last tier list I did in 3 tiers, and all y'all did was bitch and complain because I didn't split up the mid-tier, even though I find that kind of pointless. At the end of the day, I believe tier lists serve one purpose, and that really the more important thing you want is a matchup chart. But a lot of people don't want to do the hard work to learn how to get good at video games, so they don't make matchup charts. They just make tier lists and then clickbait that shit and put it on YouTube, and then the whole world gives them fucking clout and money. I have neither clout nor money, so I'm going to do a tier list. But I'm going to do it in my own way, and y'all are just going to get mad. And that's fine. That's fine. But the reason why I switched it into 4 tiers is just because otherwise the mid-tier ends up just being everybody that isn't top or bottom. And I feel like the game is balanced enough to where that doesn't matter. But I also don't want to listen to you guys complain. So we're going to go with that way. So the top tier, right? There should be no surprises in who is in this top tier, right? These are the characters that are just, in my opinion, they're just cheap. You may or may not have to put any effort proportional to your win-loss ratio to make these characters work, but they all have some stupid shit that just allows them to be dumb as hell, and that's it. All right? So actually, I should probably add another tier. I'm going to add another row. Add a row above. Okay? Done. All right? And this tier is going to be like fucking, it's going to be black. It's going to be black tier, all right? So Kronika is up in there. We're going to do this, all right? We're going to do this. We're going to name this tier, fuck this shit. All right? So the top is tier. Out. Okay. You know what, man? This shit ain't even working. All right, you gonna go there. All right, you're gonna be that color. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna change the colors. All right, that's gonna be that, and then this gonna be down 1. Okay, and then this gonna be down 1. Okay. And then this is going to be down 1. All right. And then that means that this also has to be down 1. So there we go. All right. We got rainbow of tier list. So first, top of the tier list, quit the game tier. Fuck these 3 characters. Fuck them. Fuck them entirely. In fact, these 2, I refuse to fucking fight. If I'm not in a tournament, I ain't fighting them. If you ain't paying me to fuck with this shit, then I ain't fucking with. Here, let's get Kronika out of here. All right, the meme is over. That shit was funny. All right, let's remove her. Come on, get out. Get out. Okay, we'll put Kronika at the bottom tier. But these 3 characters, the reason why they are top 3 is because at the end of the day, these 3 characters can do whatever the fuck they want. And there's very little you could do about it. That's just it. They have their set game plan. They have changed the face cam. Let me move it over. I'm going to move it. Should I move it? Hold on. Get rid of here. You're going to look at Mortal Kombat. We need to change the face cam? Nah, I don't give a shit. I don't like doing this kind of content. I'm only doing this because y'all are bitching. I'm going to scroll up as I need to because I'm lazy and I'm tired. And fuck these characters. Fuck these 3. So Cetrion, it wasn't even bad enough that she had Tornado or Typhoon or whatever, right? That move on its own is cheap enough to just win tournaments by itself because it's safe. It resets to neutral, but it resets to neutral at a range that Cetrion just has advantage on everybody, right? That middle range, that like range 2/range 3 bullshit that like if you try to approach, you just get 1-1'd or forward 1'd into the face. So like everything Cetrion does just leads back into Tornado, which leads back into putting her at her best range, which leads back into Tornado, and she can just loop that over and over and over. Adding customs on top of that means that now she can teleport and she can mix you up with the ground pound, right? So anytime she does anything, if she wants to be safe, she just does Tornado. If she wants to take a risk, she could do ground pound. Even that's not very risky because she can cancel ground pound. So at any time, she's either safe, mixing you up, or if you like are overwhelming her, if you're like, fuck this shit, man, I'm like Liu Kang, I'm going to get in that ass. And then she just teleports away. Like she is never, ever at a disadvantage. She is only ever at either advantaged or like neutral. And she can just do whatever she wants and there's nothing you can do about it. Not many characters can say that. In fact, I would go so far as to say only 3 characters can say that. Number 2. Oh, shit, we got a follower. Thank you for the follow. You can't see the low tier because of the face cam. I don't give a shit. I told you I'm going to scroll up, okay? This is a narrative thing. We're going to tell a story, okay? You cannot read the back of the book until we get to there. Otherwise, it don't make sense. It's just weird, all right? Number 2, in the fucking quit this game because of these characters, is Fujin. Fuck this motherfucker. I am like very, very open. Like I will fight a few Cetrions that I know, like Syzoth or, you know, whoever, just because they've always mained Cetrion. No one has always mained Fujin. Okay, anybody playing Fujin right now, you just playing him because he's cheap. Because when Aftermath came out, people dropped this character like a bad habit. So fuck you and your tier whoring ass. Fuck this character. Fuck this character specifically because of back 2, forward 2, and forward 3. All the other shit, that's fine. Whatever. He fucking walk on the fucking air and do. I don't care about that shit. That shit's not cheap. What's cheap is that he can control like half of the fucking play field safely. And all of it is hit confirmable for a full combo for a 30-year health safely. Like you can't punish him. He controls the arena, and everything he does touches you and leads to a whole bunch of damage. When you look at like anything that you could punish him on, like all of his strings, they're only punishable on flawless block. So if you don't have meter, 9 times out of 10, you're not punishing shit. If you don't know how to do flawless block, basically Fujin just deletes you, right? So, like, you can't do anything about, and his offense, because it's wind, right? Back 2 and forward 2, and because forward 3 is a low, he slides under shit. You can't even jump on this shit. So if you're sitting there saying, all right, he's controlling the ground, right? He's doing wind, he's pushing me, he's doing this shit. I'm just going to jump over it to make my approach, right? That ain't even happening. Because fucking the hitboxes on all his windy shit will catch you jumping. It's just got long active times, a huge attack box. So even when you jump, you fucking if he mistimes it just a little bit, he catches you out of your jump, you're still not getting in, right? And if you're trying to zone, what does it fucking matter? He's always like 1 or 2 forward dashes or back dashes away from being back into forward 2, back 2, and forward 3 bullshit range. So like you're like, all right, fuck it, he's winding me. I'm gonna throw out a projectile. Nope, slide under it, full combo punish. You die. Anywhere on screen. If you're on screen and like you're not actively hitting Fujin, he can do whatever he wants and there's not much you can do about it. Like, I don't even think this character has too many bad matchups. If anything, these other 2 characters in his tier are like bad matchups for him. Next one is number 3. People already bitch about this character too much. Jackie. She's the same shit. I actually like fighting upgraded Jackie because I feel like she just challenges your defense. And a lot of people, they don't like fighting upgraded Jackie because they don't have very good defense. Like, whatever, just fucking block for 30 seconds. Who cares? There's a character that makes you block for 30 seconds. All right, big fucking deal, right? The problem I have with Jackie is the same problem I've had with Jackie. One, she breaks the game because wake-up mechanics just don't really affect her, right? She jumps into the air, option selects. If you roll, up 3, up 2, delay buttons, fucking fatal blow. If she times it, it'll interrupt the fucking armor before the armor activates. So, like, shrapnel just removes wake-up, right? Jackie is one of the few characters that actually has a wake up without needing a restand. That's pretty cheap, having something that other people don't have. It's not the block for a half hour, right? That's nothing. But breaking the game and taking away an entire mechanic is bullshit. The other thing that makes her cheap is, like, Jackie don't even have to be good. If you're a Jackie player, 9 times out of 10, you're not even good. She doesn't have to be good, and that's because of the way her leap and her air shrapnel converting into a combo works. When she jumps in the air, right, and she does her shrapnel, if she times it right, she can lock you in, jail you, do her Jackie pressure. Okay, I have a problem with that. That's actually not even easy to do. So when someone can do it consistently and accurately, it is impressive. The problem is when they're not consistent and accurate and they fuck it up and Jackie just kind of flips over you and does the shrapnel late. You made the read on the shrapnel. You're like, bitch, I'm going to fucking hit you. And then she fucking delays it like a half second. And next thing you know, 45% of your health is gone and you couldn't break away. That's what makes Jackie cheap, is that you don't have to be good with Jackie. If you fuck it up, as long as you get into the air and you get the shrapnel out, you have an opportunity on a coin toss to just do all of the damage. Like, how many times have, as a Jackie, fucking done 4-3-1, fucking leap, into shrapnel, you said, this bitch is going to fucking do this shit, I'm going to fucking punish her, and then she just barely misses the timing, and now the shrapnel is all the way the fuck over there, but because you sticked out a poke to fucking punish her for doing that shit, it hits you. She has enough time to convert or to confirm for a full combo, say, oh, I hit him. All right, well, let me just take half of your health off of my mistake, even though you were right that I was going to jump. The other thing is, like, even the full screen jump, right? That's just doing the jump in pressure. But even the full screen jump, half the time they fuck up the full screen jump. They're full screen, you're zoning them, and then she jumps in. You know she's going to jump. You know she's waiting for the jump, right? You're like, this bitch is going to jump. She jumps in. You're like, here it comes. It's anti-air time. This bitch is going to learn. Nope. They were off their timing by just a fraction of a second. Your anti-air misses or whatever, and you just die, right? That's why Jackie's top tier, is because even if the Jackie sucks, you still die, right? So, like, that's the top 3. If you pick these 3 characters and you're not completely ass, you'll do all right. If you're a really, really good player and you pick these 3 characters, then whoever you're against just doesn't get to play Mortal Kombat 11. Like, they just don't get to play the game. They're playing a different game than you. They're watching a movie and you are playing a game. That's how these 3 characters work. That's why they're in the top tier. I call them quit the game tier because people fucking fight this shit and they're like, yeah, I ain't playing Mortal Kombat. I ain't fucking with this shit. So there's your quit the game tier. All right, next tier. Scroll up a little bit. Okay? Next tier is the top tier. These are characters that, in my opinion, are good enough or cheap enough or dumb enough to where, like, provided you're not fighting characters from the tier above them, chances are you have a good opportunity to win this match. If you're fighting the characters above them, these characters 9 times out of 10 still have ways to fight it. They still have tools and options. And these characters right here shut down a lot of the characters under them, right? The only reason why they're not up here with these guys is because, they actually have to think and have some sort of tactic for some of their game plan. Number 1 on this list is Shiva. She only kind of has to think, okay? If your connection is bad, she is up here. She is quit the game level, right? If you have a decent connection, then you're playing offline. This character's not that bad. But the problem, as I've covered before in previous videos with Shiva, is not the stomp or the dragon stance, which I felt dragon stance was way cheaper, but they nerfed that thing. Like, it's kind of just all right. It's just kind of a mediocre zoning tool now. But Dragon Stance is cheap because she gets like 15 moves for one slot. Every other character that has a stance that gives them like fucking more than 2 moves, right? Like Liu Kang has like 2 moves out of his stance and a cancel. Like that's it, right? So his stance is only 1 slot. But you look at like Katana, Kung Lao, like who else has a stance? They're all 2-slot things. Shiva gets a stance for 1 slot, and her stance is actually really, really good with a lot of utility. Again, it gives you like 15 moves. Like no one else gets 15 moves for 1 slot, and they're all very different moves. It's not like, okay, you have one that's a punch and then you have one that's a kick. Like there's fucking tons of different things she can do out of that stance. But the problem with Shiva and online is her fucking stomp is just dumb. Okay, her stomp is like plus on hit. It should not be. I've said before, if they made her stomp like -5 or 6 to where she couldn't just spam stomp, then she probably wouldn't be so bad. She would get her stomp, she would get her damage. Okay, you didn't dash, ha ha ha. Now we reset back to fucking neutral and we have to play and you have to earn your next stomp. But right now, the stomp is plus on hit. So if she lands a stomp and she wants to stomp again, there's not much you can do to stop it. The frame data is deceiving because it says, oh, stomp, it just interrupted, man. It starts up in 60 frames. No, it doesn't, okay? There's 60 frames before she comes down, but once she goes up off screen, she's invincible. And online, dude, good luck fucking dodging that shit. Good luck. There's too many videos of pro players who played this game more than I do and make more money than I do, not able to dash and dodge that shit in time. And it's because they buffed the hitbox on it, so like you really have to get away to get that thing, to like stop that thing. And if she delays it, she doesn't even need the aim. If she delays it, you're just done. So if you're fighting online and the connection isn't like they don't live across the street, right? If you don't have an absolute pristine connection, it's a coin toss whether or not you're going to be able to deal with stomp. It's not even whether or not you can or you know how. It's just, am I going to be able to? Is the game and the internet going to allow me to stop this shit? If the answer is yes, then she's kind of just an average character. She's not awful. But if the answer is no, then like Shiva belongs up here. But I don't put her in the quit the game tier because honestly, if your connection is a little bit consistent and you can escape the stomp, like certain characters can't. Like I guess Collector can't escape it in any way, or something like that. I'm not quite sure on that. But if you can escape the stomp and it doesn't lag, she's not that hard to space out. She's not that hard to deal with. Next one is Joker. The only reason why he's not in quit the game tier is because we've been fighting him for over a year, and you either know how to deal with it or you don't. Joker didn't change coming into Ultimate. Like, his best variations are like fucking Ace of Knaves and like boxing gloves and stuff. Like the customs didn't really break him any more than he already was. He was already kind of stupid. He's still kind of stupid. He still has some of the best tools in the game. He still has a staggerable 11-frame, hit confirmable, safe mid-string that can turn into a full combo. Like, he has all the tools to be good. It's just that, like, Joker, he doesn't, like, even if you're doing, like, Jack in the Box shit, right? Just throwing boxes on the ground to annoy your opponent. Like, he doesn't get to just do whatever he wants and not be punished. Like, you could still theoretically, like, if he's pulling out a box and he's throwing it down, you could theoretically interrupt it and stop him. Now, is that easy? No. But you could actually do that, right? With Cetrion, if she's doing 1-1 tornado, 4-2-3 tornado, like, you have 2 options. You can try to down 4 under it, or you could try to flawless block, and that's it. You can't do nothing about her shit, not even theoretically, right? That's why Joker is here. Next person is Scrub Zero, right? He's in the top tier specifically because, like, quite frankly, we live in an online world, right? This is a tier list. I took online into consideration for this shit, and Sub-Zero is just stupid online. Like, he's just dumb. I've reacted to that overhead in tournament offline. I can't react to that shit online. It's just not happening. You're not reacting. The world is not reacting. It's just going to happen. It's coming out, and he's going to rob you at any time. If you have less than 30% health and he has Fatal Blow, it's a coin toss at the end of the round whether or not you're winning. That's literally it. Every match with Sub-Zero comes down to, am I going to get hit with a mix-up into Fatal Blow? If he doesn't have Fatal Blow, you actually have a fighting chance. But if he doesn't have Fatal Blow, chances are he already took round 1 from you because of that shit, right? So Sub-Zero, he's just kind of annoying to fight. But again, he can do what he wants, but if he screws it up, you can actually deal with it. Like if he goes for overhead ice or overhead rising ice or whatever, he tries to gimmick you out without creeping ice. Even then, creeping ice isn't 100%. Like some characters can flawless block it. Kung Lao and Cetrion could just jump over it. Like creeping ice isn't guaranteed safety. So I feel like Sub-Zero isn't quit the game good, right? Fighting against Sub-Zero or fighting as Sub-Zero, at least you kind of have, again, theoretically you could beat him. And that seems to be the theme, right? These characters on the top tier, theoretically you're not beating them unless they make a mistake that you can capitalize. These top tiers, theoretically you can beat them because they have openings, but those openings are very hard to deal with. Like very hard to deal with those openings, all right? So that's going to be the difference between quit the game tier and top tier. So moving on, we got this. This is probably the first controversial pick I've got. I put her here in top tier because, quite frankly, she can do whatever she wants, and there's not a lot you can do about it. And she's very, very good at... She's turned into this weird jack-of-all-trades character that can do everything except damage. Like, that's the only thing Jade doesn't have. But if you have Dilia's Dance equipped, like, if you wanted to rush down and be aggressive, like, basically her best builds are going to be anything with zoning plus Dilia's Dance, right? Like, as long as you have Dilia's Dance, you have an 11-frame mid that you can cancel into Dilia's Dance that you can burn a bar to make it safe, right? And everybody's like, yeah, we'll just punish the regular non-amplified Dilia's Dance. Fuck you, dude. Nobody's punishing that shit because the reward for her just pushing R1 on a read is you're fucking dead. You get hit, and now she has fucking all the advantage. And if you're right, yeah, you could punish her. But as long as Jade has 1 bar, it's always a mind game of whether or not she's going to burn it. So the advantage is in her hands, right? The ball is in her hands because she could just choose to not burn it. And it's not like this shit recovers in half an hour. If you miss the punish, she just got to do it for free. And she could just keep doing it for free. And then if she decides, all right, man, like this guy's starting to press, I'm just going to start burning. And then now you're just reset back to back 2 range. So, like, you've got to navigate back 2 and whatever fucking dumb shit she's got in the mid-range to get back into there where you're going to get back 3-4-3 into Dilia's Dance again anyways. So if you say, fuck all this shit, I'm not fucking with you. I'm not bothering with this character. I'm gonna space her out. I'm going to stand right outside of back 2 range, her farthest range, normal, and I'm going to fucking zone this bitch, right? I'm going to make her come to me, and then she just does purple shit, and now you don't have any zoning, right? So, like, Jade just kind of deletes a lot of characters, and she can get away with murder. It's not easy to, like, punish her or open her up, and this is on top of, like, how Jade normally is. But with Dilia's Dance and with purple shit, like, she gets godlike rush down and she shuts down zoning. Purple shit is default. So, like, you could build your Jade however you want. If you want to be more rush down, as long as you have Dilia's Dance, like, people aren't really going to stop your offense enough to make it matter. And then you could sit there and build Emerald Defender with Dilia's Dance, and now, like, they can't get in, and if they do get in, you can safely pressure them until you get them off of you. And still counter zoning. Right? This character's top tier. She's fucking stupid. I don't know that a lot of people are saying that, but I'm going to say it. She's dumb. Okay? Liu Kang, top tier, because it's Liu Kang. Right? He's again, same thing with Joker. Ultimate didn't ruin Liu Kang. It didn't buff him. Customs didn't really affect him in, like, because he, like, Luo Han Quan is just that damn good. Every variation with customs that Liu Kang players are using now is basically Luo Han Quan with something else, right? It's just, I got low fireball and whatever the fuck I want, right? Liu Kang still is the same character. He's still effective. If he gets forward 4-3 out on screen, you're just in a guessing game until he decides to cash in with a grab, right? That's it. It's Liu Kang. I don't know that I need to explain him being top tier. Next one is Kano. Kano's top tier. I don't give a fuck. All right, they fixed forward 1-2 to where it doesn't whiff all the time. It still whiffs on like certain situations, but for the most part, Kano doesn't need forward 1-2. Like, he really doesn't. Just forward 1 into back 1, right, is like stupid, because forward 1 puts you at +1, right? Back 1 is a 10-frame mid, so forward 1, back 1 means that there's a 9-frame gap that they could interrupt with maybe like a down 1, but if they mistime it by just a smidgen, whatever, back 1 hits, and then I can fucking acid or throw knives, get frame advantage. But basically, look at that, we're getting a sub!
Let's get it.
Thank you for the sub, Emac, Midas the Stallion. Appreciate it, my man. We're going over a tier list. I'm going to clown on this game. Everybody's going to get mad, all right? Anyways, Kano is top tier because, quite frankly, if Kano gets you in the corner, he wins. He doesn't have a hard time getting you in the corner. Everything he does pushes you towards the corner. So in 2 or 3 exchanges, Kano has you in the corner. If he has you in the corner, he just wins. Like, that's it. Like, I rarely have seen someone fight out of the corner on a good Kano. Like, yeah, he struggles a lot in certain respects, but he's one of the few characters that has an I win condition. Like, if Kano gets you in the corner, he wins unless he severely fucks up. But even then, most good Kanos have contingency plans for jumping out or rolling out or fighting out of the corner. Kano has all the tools to keep you in the corner. So he has to royally fuck up for you to escape. And that's pretty cheap. He's one of the few characters that I consider a lame duck character. In that basically, if I can fulfill my win conditions, even though the round isn't over and there is still health to be taken, I've already basically won. So yeah, Kano, especially with the magnet Kano, you're starting to see a lot of people use the magnet in the nooch, right? Because it's like negative death on block, but only if you do it like literally at point blank. If you space it out at max range, like you can't really punish it, and he gets a full combo if it lands and you weren't jumping, right? That's it. That's the only thing, is if you're jumping, all right, it just hits you and you fall down. But if you're on the ground and you're at like range 2 or 3, like magnet's going to hit you. And if it doesn't hit you, whatever, there's not a lot of characters that can punish it. And what's even worse is like Kano can use the magnet to pull you into the fire. Thank you for the follow. So, like, if Kano, like, again, if Kano has you cornered, you're just fucked, right? Because he does his normal setup of, like, down 1, into slime, into the fucking lighter. The lighter lands in front of you, and you're like, all right, man, I got slimed, but the fire is not touching me. Oh, shit, magnet. Now I'm in the fire. And the magnet's unblockable. Like, if you block it, then you don't take the damage, but it still sucks you into the fire. So, like, basically in the corner, if he gets the fire on the ground, he just does raw magnet. Even if you block, it pulls you into the fire. The fire hits you because you're slimed. He gets a free combo, reset back into the fucking same situation. Like, he literally just wins if he gets you in the corner. Literally. Because he sets up this unblockable situation that loops back into itself. So, anybody that's downplaying Kano, you're just shitty. Like, you're just shitty. You're a shitty person, and nobody likes you. Next one is Johnny Cage. Only reason why I put Johnny Cage in here is because with customs, he can rearrange his moves to kind of like deal with bad matchups. He has a lot of utility in his variations. Nothing he does is really all that cheap anymore. But he has moves to like stop shit. Like Johnny Cage will be a force against Cetrion because force balls kind of fuck her up still, right? Like sorta, in a way. Like Johnny is kind of sort of a counterpick to Cetrion, not really, but he can fight Cetrion. That's why I put Johnny in the top tier. There's no character Johnny can't fight. So he's not going to win freely. But if you pick Johnny Cage, you can at least fight everybody. He's got all the stuff needed to do so. And all of his moves are mostly one slot except for the camera, right? But the camera's cheap because you could delete an entire health bar in like one touch with the camera and the sunglasses. So, like, if you go with, like, camera, sunglasses, and fucking pissed off, like, you kind of cover a lot of bases and can blow people up. He gets a lot of utility from his shit. And, yeah, there's not much else to say about Johnny. He's not bad, and he's not cheap, but he's certainly not average. He's above average, all right? Next one is Kotal Khan. He's always been good. Ever since they gave him a mid grab, he's been good. People haven't really like shined to it until recently, but basically like Kotal Kotal is what a grappler should be. The way they designed Kotal, I think, is so fucking perfect and brilliant. I love fighting this character. I agree, he's top tier. His mid-grab alone, mid-grab, totems, cat form, again, like Johnny Cage, he has a lot of different moves you can slot in and out to kind of arrange and make him whatever you want to counter whoever you're fighting. But as long as he has mid-grab, as long as you have, what is it, the hui-hui, like, he's scary, and you have to jump. And the thing is, every time you jump to blow up the grab, if you're wrong, like, he can blow you up for it because of the way his strings are organized. Another follow. Thank you, Eugene Nugget. The way his strings are organized is like, he just fucking does whatever he wants, and if you try to counter it and you're wrong, he blows you up. But having a mid-grab that can only be countered by jumping is pretty nasty, right? That's just good on its own. But having a mid-grab that can only be countered by jumping, that you can tick off of strings that naturally stop you from jumping, is just obnoxious. The fact that he gets the unblockable off a down 4, the fact that forward 2 is like a half screen, safe, full fucking combo launcher string, all of that shit is just dressing, right? It's just icing on the cake. The mid-grab is just icing on the cake. It's the mid-grab with the tick throws, with the fact that he can equip other shit that makes him good, right? Kotal Khan, people are trying to say Kotal Khan belongs up here. I don't agree. I don't think that he's like quit the game levels of good. There are ways to fight him. If you're wrong, he will blow you up for him. But again, it's not like he can just do what he wants without reprisal. That's what these three do. These three do what they want, and there's nothing you can do about it. Kotal Khan, it's like, all right, he's going to mid-grab. I could jump. If I'm wrong, I'm getting fucking hit. But if I'm right, I'm hitting him. So theoretically, you can fight Kotal. Theoretically. Easier said than done. That's why he's top tier and not below, but easier said than done. Next, I'm going to have the upper middle tier, right? So the upper middle tier is primarily characters that aren't bad, but they're not like super cheap. Like they have like spammy, abusable, dumb shit, but like that spammy, abusable, dumb shit is wildly inconsistent. And like not just inconsistent, but it's like there's gaps, and it's not a joke whether or not you can blow them up. They're pretty like solid counters, right? So like Kotal Khan has the mid grab, right? And if you good luck punishing mid grab, right? If you're right, okay, you get a combo. If you're wrong, he gets the grab. Only in theory are you blowing up mid grab, but there are ways to blow it up, just not consistently. Whereas these guys in this tier, like their shit can be consistently blown up. Like they have cheap spammy shit, but like you can blow it up if you know the matchup, or like you're just better than your opponent. It's not like a guessing game that favors your opponent. It's more of a guessing game that's fair. So like the number one out of these is Garrus. I was going to put Garrus in the tier above because Sand Trap is still to this day one of the stupidest moves in the game. Like literally Sand Trap is like anybody that quits the game over Sand Trap, like you have my respect. I'm not going to shit on you because that shit is just dumb. Like any move that deletes your ability to move in a game that's supposed to be all about neutral. Neutral is all about movement. Garrus just says you don't get to move until I choose that you can move. And that shuts down the majority of the cast's like basic game plan. Like if Noob Cybot can't move around back and forth and fish for whiff punishes because of the sand trap, they're like, what the fuck is Noob Cybot going to do? He's going to crouch block. Garrus is going to do what he wants, and you're never going to take the initiative. You're never going to get momentum. Like, basically, you either blow up Garrus or he just does what he wants, and that's it. Like, there are ways of blowing it up. You can block. If he does sand trap too close, a lot of characters can punish it. The mid grab can be punished. Again, it's not easy, but you could jump it, right? So there are ways out of Garrus's shit. But Garrus, again, he's more of like psychologically good. He's not good on paper. None of his tools on paper are like, oh my God, this is godlike. But people discount the psychological aspect of this game. They discount the mental part, right? Garrus, it's not that sand trap is like this overpowering, like godlike move. It's that sand trap psychologically fucks with you, and people act like that's not a factor in fighting games. The fact that if I move, you can hit me and loop back into doing that same shit is pretty cheap. Because now, as someone fighting a Garrus, you're always on the defensive. You're like, when can I do a thing and I don't get sand trapped? Right? And then when you get into range to where you can blow sand trap, you still can't move because it's like, all right, well, mid grab can still grab me from this range, and Garrus has some godlike anti-airs. So I can't even really approach him here. I can't approach him there. If I move back, probably going to get sand trap. I can't move. I got to wait for Garrus to do what he wants, and then hopefully he does something stupid and I can punish it. Granted, a lot of Garrus shit is stupid and punishable. And that's why this character isn't that dumb. Many people put him in the topper end of mid-tier. But I think that that's deceiving. Just because you can punish Garrus doesn't mean that he's not stupid and cheap, because he shuts down your ability to do one of the most basic things in a fighting game, which is walk. Right? He just shuts down your ability to walk, and I think that that's cheap, and I think that that's bad design, and there's no way that they can really fix Garrus without like making him like deleted from the game. Because if they like ruined sand trap, right? If they made it like a mid and you could block it standing, like Garrus's other tools are not all that great, right? But if they made sand trap good, like it used to be, then basically we have Mortal Kombat from 2019. Nobody wants to play that shit. Everybody said that shit was whack. All right? So Garrus, barely out of the top tier. But only because you can blow up his other shit. It's just by the time you start blowing up his other shit, you've already eaten 5 fucking sand traps. Moving on to Shang. Shang Tsung, he's just like the best zoner in the game. Like, he's really fucking good at what he does, which is zone. If you try to zone him, he smokes. There's not much else to say. Like, you either know how to fight a zoner or you don't. What makes Shang Tsung really, really strong in upper mid-tier is, like, a lot of his shit requires that you have to flawless block to get around, and a lot of people can't flawless block. But even if you can flawless block, like, it doesn't guess there, like when he does ground sparks or whatever, and you flawless block the second hit to dash in and punish. It's like not even guaranteed that he'll do that shit, and he has ways to bait flawless blocks and stuff. He's one of those characters that, like, his whole game plan gets shut down if you know how to deal with zoning and you know how to flawless block. But that doesn't discount the fact that his zoning is really, really good, and he has the tools to bait out and fight flawless blocking. So when Shang Tsung's beat you, 9 times out of 10, you were just kind of outplayed by someone who knows how to do what they were doing. He's not really cheap, but a lot of people don't know how to deal with zoners, so he kind of feels cheap. Terminator's the same thing. He's like the reverse of Shang Tsung. Like, if he gets in, like, you just eat coin tosses. But, like, you could keep him out. It's not impossible to keep him out. Just know that, like, he's kind of like Kano in that he kind of wins if he gets in. But you can always guess right. Like, there's always that theory that you could beat him if you guess right. And you can avoid that entirely by just spacing him properly. That's why I would say Terminator's upper tier instead of top tier. Because even though he just fucking steamrolls you when he gets in, if you keep him from getting in, he's kind of harmless. So it comes down to whether or not you know how to fight a Terminator matchup and you know how to outplay your opponent. But you can't discount his strengths. Same thing with Spawn. Spawn is like really good at what he does, which is like control the mid-range and do big damage. His mix-up game is kind of ass. I don't know why people still try to like play a mix-up Spawn. Like, his mix-ups are all right. They're not bad, but he loses a lot to get them. And like, his big thing is like whiffing. Like, he has some of the best buttons in the game, but if you whiff, like, you're dead. If you have the charge and they break away at any time, you're probably dead. But at least Spawn, it's not hard for him to get hits, and when he does hit you, it hurts. So it kind of counters that, right? He's very high risk, high reward, but he's got the best movement in the game. He's got some of the best space control in the mid-range in the game. He just struggles if you could get inside, and he struggles if you can keep him out. Like, if you could stand right outside of standing 3 range, like, he's got just like that slow-ass projectile and like cape fly, right? He struggles at certain ranges. But once he gets you where he wants you, he can steamroll you. So he's cheap, but he can be outplayed. That's top tier. Next one is going to be Rain. again, same shit. If Rain equips Hydro Boost and the little ground pound, basically everything he does is either going to lead into a mix or a combo, and like it just repeats over and over. He hits hard. He has good fucking mids. Like Rain is good for the same reasons that like Joker is good. Like he just kind of does what he wants to do, and he's a little bit safe on it. However, if you make certain reads, you can blow him up. And Rain struggles to get into range to get started, right? He doesn't just freely get into like back two range, which is where he wants to be. Like he doesn't get there for free, so he has to earn that. But once he earns that, he can easily steamroll you. So like Rain is the character that people are calling the top tier. No one knows is top tier. I like that description. Rain is bullshit, but a lot of people don't know how bullshit he is. But he is definitely bullshit. Sindel is like really good online. She's like really good online. She probably deserves to be like up here if we're talking about the internet. But we're not talking about the internet, so like I'm not going to put her in the toppest of tiers. Sindel, like she's just really good online. Like it's a 30 frame fucking 500 frame overhead. You're not reacting to it. Who knows why, right? Back to the low, you're not reacting to it, and chances are you're not even punishing it, even if you're one of the few characters that can. She just kind of does what she wants to do. She's still really, really susceptible to rush down. Like if you can get started on her, she's like got down one, and that's kind of it. She still has a lot of shit that's quasi unsafe. It's kind of tough to punish any of it, but you could kind of theoretically punish it. She's just really, really stupid online. And the reason why I'm hesitant to put her higher is because when we had offline tournaments, she wasn't putting in work. Before the pandemic, no one was putting in work with Sindel. So we don't know if her bullshit actually works offline, but we do know it works online. So I'm not going to discount that. I just don't know that she can get away with murder like the top three. She still has openings and gaps that you can fight her with. So I'm going to keep her here as the safe pick. Frost is like fucking super good and nobody even plays her. Anybody that plays Frost knows that she's super good. Anybody that's fought a good Frost knows that she's super good. She's got like decent zoning. She's got set play. She's got unblockable mix-ups. She's got like a really good mid that you can hit confirm safely for a combo. The only thing Frost doesn't have is damage. Like she hits like a chump. Especially if you're equipping all of her best moves, then you're just not hitting very hard. But like she doesn't have a hard time getting hits. The only downside is like Frost, whatever she does, she's not like good at. Like her zoning is decent, but she's not going to zone a Shang Tsung, right? She's not going to zone Robocop, right? She's got the rush down tools to beat a zoner, but she's not going to like beat Kung Lao in the close range. She's not going to beat Jackie up close. And I think that's what kind of keeps her from being cheap. She's like if they gave Johnny Cage like bullshit set play bullshit and like took away some of the damage. Like if Johnny Cage didn't have damage and you took away Johnny's damage and replaced it with set play, that's Frost. But unfortunately, there are ways to escape her set play, so it's not as strong as just having solid tools like Johnny. Jax is fucking stupid. Like online, like Jax is a meme at this point. Anybody that plays Jax is like a meme in my opinion. Like he just gets away with whatever the fuck he wants. When offline tournaments were happening, hardly anybody was making Jax work. There were people that were doing it, so it is possible. But like the Jax that you fight in Combat League or that you fight in King of the Hills is not the Jax that you would fight offline. Unfortunately, we don't have offline, so like you're only fighting online Jax, and he's just stupid. Like he actually belongs like up here because he could just down one and stagger and like do whatever he wants, and like even if you try to space him out, like he just gets in for free with a lot of his shit. Like so once he gets in, like it's basically Jackie without the leap. However, again, I don't put him in the top tier because, again, theoretically, you can blow it up. Like, he doesn't have plus frames on his staggers like Jackie. So you could technically jab him out of it, but good fucking luck, dude. And if you're fighting a Jax on Wi-Fi, their wins don't count. That's the rule I have. Next one is Devora. Devora is, like, cheap if you build her to counter whoever you're fighting. If you're fighting a zoner and you equip Widow's Kiss, Devora's cheap. If you're fighting a rushdown character and you put the ground bugs out that gives you the unblockables, like Devora's cheap. The problem is if you play the style that beats whatever her build is, she has nothing, right? Like if I'm playing an anti-rushdown Devora and I fight a Cetrion, like I just lost. Like I have nothing. Without Widow's Kiss, she can't get in. If you equip Widow's Kiss, you lose a lot of her really strong up-close utility in exchange for a teleport. Thankfully, that teleport leads to your biggest damage in combos, so it's not useless up close, but she loses her utility. And losing utility is very important for a character like Devora because I feel like Devora is one of those characters that people complain about as being unfinished. Devora, I would say, is like an unfinished character. Like, she has all the tools, but they're all customs. So, like, if you don't have the right custom loadout, like, you just don't have a character. Like, the matchups are lopsided. If I don't have Widow's Kiss and you're a zoner, like, I'm literally losing. Like, I'm just not getting in easily. You know, like, that's why I put her in upper tier because she steamrolls you if she has the right build to counter you. But if she has the wrong build, she may as well not even exist. Cabal, again, I look at Cabal as the benchmark for balance in this game. Cabal, he fucking hits hard. He's got really, really good neutral. He plays a very solid, aggressive neutral. He can't really be zoned like he used to be because now he has the air dash and he can fight zoning a little bit better. It's not guaranteed. But like Cabal, I look as like the measuring stick. If a character is as good as Cabal, I consider them balanced. If they're better than Cabal, I consider them broken. If they're worse than Cabal, I consider them needing buffs. Like Cabal, I think if they balance the game around someone being as powerful as Cabal, like that would be the best balanced version of MK11. Because I feel like when you lose to Cabal, he has dirt, but there are ways of beating that dirt. He can be cheap. But it's not like impossibly cheap. You can blow up stuff. He has gaps. He has openings. But what he does is really, really strong. And it makes sense. Like it's not like some weird, like Cetrion. Like you look at Cetrion and her game plan doesn't make sense. She's supposed to be a zoner. And she has like the best rush down pressure mix up game in the whole roster. Right? Whereas Cabal, like what you see is what you get. And what he does is really fucking good. He's just balanced, but he's on the better end of balance. I wish every character were as good as Cabal, as far as, like, you know, where they are on the tier list. Next one we got, Kung Lao. I would love for so much for this character to just function. If Kung Lao functions the way he's supposed to, I say this in every tier list, every discussion on character balance. If Kung Lao just functioned the way he's supposed to, he would actually be, like, top tier. He doesn't function the way he's supposed to, so he's not top tier, right? He still has stupid-ass whiffing issues, like Fatal Blow. Rollback kills his Fatal Blow because the animation is so long that when it rolls back, it continues that animation, causing, you know, a lot of the times online for the first hit of the Fatal Blow to hit, and then the second hit whiffs because of rollback. Like, offline Kung Lao is not so bad. And this is why you see him played a lot in tournaments, because what he does with his strike throw and his big damage is pretty good. It's pretty nice. But like the whiffing issues and the hitbox issues and just this character is not finished. They have a good idea of what they want to do. He does what he's supposed to do. He just doesn't do it all the time. And a lot of times, Kung Lao's, you just lose to, like, weird shit. Like, wait, that wasn't supposed to be that. That wasn't supposed to work. Okay, well, I guess I just lose. But when Kung Lao can get started, like, he just feels cheap. And that's why a lot of people don't like this character, and they hate on him. They're like, fuck Kung Lao. Fuck Kung Lao. Nobody says he's top tier, but everybody says fuck Kung Lao. And it's because when he gets started and his shit actually works, it's pretty nasty. But sometimes it doesn't work and you just die because of some weird whiff or some weird hitbox or whatever. And that's the unfortunate part. You live by the hat, you die by the hat. Don't cut yourself, man. Right? Next, okay, at the end of the upper, we have like these four. I consider them to be still upper tier, but like there's weaknesses enough in their game plan to make them less than the people above them. Like they're really, really good, but they're really kind of just like Like, they have holes. Like, Nightwolf with his command grab and a launcher, or even the Takeda Nightwolf, like, he's got a lot of really, really good set play, and he's one of the few characters that can guarantee Oki if you have the command grab. The problem with Nightwolf is, like, he still doesn't have, like, decent mids for the range he wants to play at. So you're going to be doing a lot of down 3 1-1-1s. Like, yeah, he has back 3. That's a fast mid, but the range is kind of shitty. So you're going to be doing a lot of down 3 1-1-1s. And whether or not you can open someone up with that determines whether or not you're going to be successful with Nightwolf. But, like, it's still kind of a kindergarten game plan. Like, it's like a basic bitch game plan. Noob Cybot hits hard, but he has a lot of the same problem a lot of these other characters have in the top tier. Is that, like, without the right build to counter whatever you're fighting, like, Noob Cybot struggles. But, like, so he's kind of like Devora in that regard, that he has to have the right build. But if he has the right build, like, he's not as overbearing as Devora. Like, it's not like he's going to, like, if Noob Cybot has the right build to counter you, it's not like he's unblockable comboing you to death and there's nothing you can do. You can still fight it. It's just going to be tough because he's got moves that beat you. Right? And if he has the wrong build, like, it gets kind of like he's not going to beat people with the wrong build. If he's like the zoner build and you pick the rush down variation, like, if he doesn't zone you, like, you're kind of stuck. Like, if he picks the zoning build and he's fighting Cetrion that wants to pressure him, like, he doesn't have much he can do about that with his zoning build. And he's certainly not keeping Cetrion out. Raiden is like, he's kind of like Joker in that Ultimate didn't really do much for him, but he didn't get bad. Like, Raiden kind of got nerfed, but Thunderwave got better, so it's a wash, right? Like, he can kind of do his dumb shit. You can kind of blow it up. Like, nobody's punishing back 1-2. It's just not happening. I don't care what you fuckers are saying. Like, back 1-2 is punishable. I'm like, nobody's punishing it. Nobody's punishing it. Not consistently. You're waiting for the follow-up grab or fucking Thunder Circle. That's what you're waiting to punish. You're not punishing back 1-2 because getting hit by the follow-ups is too risky, right? Again, the problem with Raiden is just, like, what he does is cheap, but there's ways to fight it. And, like, if he fucks up, like, he's kind of dead. So he's one-dimensional and good, but he can't really enforce his dumb shit. He kind of has to, like, play this game of, like, are you going to read right? Because if you don't, then I can do what I want to do and it'll hurt. It's not going to kill you. It's not like Jackie where what I did fucking ruins you and you're done and the round is a wash. It's like, all right, I hit you and it hurt. It was good. Same thing with Cassie. Cassie, like, she's just like a really, like, a worse version of Johnny Cage with better zoning. Like, she kind of does everything, and depending on your build, like, she's kind of good. But, like, nothing she does is as cheap. Like, she can do forward 4 and, like, lock you down, but that's not airtight. Like, nothing she does is cheap. Everything she does is good. Right? So, moving into the lower tier, this is where people are going to get mad. People are going to get mad about this one. Lower tier. First one, Molina, I put in the lower tier only because of, like, weird hitbox issues. Like, back 1-1... whiffing when it shouldn't, like, that just really sucks. If I space back 1-1 right and I hit you with the first hit and then the second hit whiffs and you full combo punish me, like, that shit's stupid, right? Her game plan is solid. Everything she does works, but, like, basically if you're not really good with movement and you guess wrong on a couple of mix-ups, like, she dies. And again, like, the hitbox issues are what kill her. Like, her shit just, like, having weird, unfinished bullshit hitboxes that cause moves that shouldn't whiff to whiff and cause strings that should be, like, this is Mortal Kombat. This isn't Street Fighter. We're not linking this shit. These are strings. If I hit the first hit, it's assumed that the next hit's going to hit. But with Molina, a lot of her strings, like, the first hit will hit and then everything else whiffs and then you die. So that's why I would put her at lower tier, just because it's a gamble whether or not any of your shit you're trying to do works. But when it does work, she's pretty fucking scary. Same thing with Aaron Black. Like, he has a lot of weird, like, hitbox issues. Thankfully, a lot of his wonky hitboxes help him, and he's able to avoid and low-profile stuff. But like Aaron Black is like, he lives and dies by unsafe gimmicks. Like he does like what other characters above him that are mix heavy can do, but he doesn't have a whole lot of ways to make it safe. So like you're either going to steamroll or you're not. And if they guess right on one thing, like you just die. And if the hitboxes just want to fuck with you, then you just die anyways. But like I wouldn't say Aaron Black is worthless, but I wouldn't main him. Sonya is like really solid with onion rings and her mix. Outside of that, she doesn't have a whole lot. And her zoning, like her onion rings are good, but they're not as oppressive as other characters. Like you block 2 or 3 onion rings and like you're in range to where you can outspace her. I think the problem is like people go all or nothing with Sonya. They either try to zone her out or they try to rush her down. If you just space her out in the mid range, she's not that scary. Like onion rings are reactable in the mid range, so you just get a free jump in. Like if she gets in close, she can mix you to death. If she's full screen, she can kind of zone you and keep you out with onion rings. But like her game plan it's got a lot of gaps in it. It's got a lot of gaps and it's not that hard to fight. It's not to say that it's useless, but there's nothing that she does that other characters don't do better. Same thing with Baraka. Baraka is like, if we were talking about a tier list of like who is more interesting to watch and play, Baraka is bottom tier. He is literally the most boring character to watch, to play, to fight against. I wish Baraka would be deleted from the game, but not the character. Just however they designed him, scratch him, throw that away. You fucked up on designing this character, NetherRealm. Like, give us, instead of Combat Pack 3, give us a DLC update, which is Baraka getting like more interesting moves. All of his moves work. They're not like he's like a really bad jack of all trades character, right? Like he doesn't do anything that like Johnny and Cassie don't do. Like he can kind of zone. He plays the mid range with some zoning. He's got decent pressure. He doesn't have a good mid, so his pressure has gaps. You can mash on him. Like he's like a basic bitch character who doesn't do anything extraordinary. It's just like sometimes you have gutted equipped and you can hit me for 50% of your health. Like once a match, you're going to take half of my health bar. Other than that, like, you're going to be doing blade sparks 1-1 and 4-2-1 and then like occasionally back spark or back spikes if you have it equipped. Like he's very, very boring and like not really all that cheap, but you could make him work. Like he's not the worst character in the game. Katana will be low tier in this game until they figure out a way to fix her hitbox issues. Like that's it. I think Katana has all the tools. I think Katana actually is like probably, if she didn't have issues with hitboxes, would be upper mid. Like her moves, the way they interact with each other, like outside of like the useless moves that don't do much, like the way her moves interact are actually not that bad. Like she's got a lot that she can do. It's just like if you just hold up on Katana, everything whiffs and you land and you combo her. Like it just sucks that this character is countered by like just jump a lot. Just jump all the time. Even if she hits you, like you could still punish her. If that wasn't the case, Katana would be pretty good. Collector, only reason why I put Collector here is because he struggles with characters above him. He has all the tools that he needs. He's got big unbreakable damage. He's got mid-grab. He's got teleport. But like a lot of the characters above him, Collector has to build his character to be able to fight whatever you have. If he has the wrong build, he's fucked. But if he has the right build, he's competitive. He's not even cheap. He's just competitive if he has the right build. Like, and at the end of the day, like Collector, he kind of plays a one-dimensional, like spammy play style. It's like, okay, you're at this range, 4-4. Oh, you're up close. Okay, down 1 and forward 1. Like he's kind of boring, but like you can make him work. You can be a little bit, unorthodox with him, but you do have to pick the right moves. I feel like Collector, if he doesn't have the right moves, like he just gets kind of fucked up. Scorpion, like. Reborn is just kind of is what it is. Like the teleport cancel is his only good thing. Like that's like his best thing. And like we've been fighting it for over 2 years and pretty much everyone has figured out ways of beating it and dealing with it. So like it's good enough to win with, but like It's not like the end of the world. It's not like because he has teleport cancel, he wins for free. And if he's wrong and you punish him on the teleport cancel, like he spent a bar to do it, so now he has to eat the whole combo. Like Scorpion's solid, he works, but teleport cancel's not that scary. All right, moving on to bottom tier. The worst characters in the game. Scarlet still gets destroyed by flawless block. She has ways of fighting it. Bottom tier doesn't mean unplayable, but like the fact that everybody has access to one tool that just stops everything that she does just sucks. Hey, we got another follow. Thank you, Mr. Booger Nasty. Anyways, Scarlet, she just gets kind of deleted by whatever flawless block or whatever, and she can't like handle it. It just sucks for her, right? But she has tools to fight it. She can fight flawless block, but it's still, if they've got a bar of offensive and defensive, Scarlet has to second guess herself. You never want to second guess yourself on offense. Second guessing yourself on defense is fine, but on offense, if you second guess yourself and hesitate, that's when you get mashed on. Scarlet gets mashed on. She doesn't have a good mid to enforce that. If Scarlet had a good mid, I think that would make her flawless block gaps not so bad because at least she can stagger. But right now it's like, I did a move. Now I will stop. Right? Like that's it. I did a move. Now I will stop. That's like kind of her game plan, and that's what sucks. Robocop, the problem with Robocop is just like, his zoning is good. Everybody says he's bad as a zoner, but that's because every Robocop is equipping mid-grab. If you have mid-grab equipped, you're not a zoner. Why the fuck do you need a mid-grab? Everybody's like, he needs the mid-grab if they get in. I'm like, if you're a good zoner, they don't get in. So you're sacrificing other zoning moves to have a mid-grab that you will occasionally use. People need to look at their stats in this game. Go and look at how much you actually use a move, right? If you've gone 500 matches with Robocop and you've only mid-grabbed them maybe once or twice a round ever, if that, and you're trying to zone, then maybe the problem isn't the character. The problem is your build. You have moves that you don't use equipped. Because I do all right zoning with Robocop. The problem I have with Robocop and making him like low tier is just that like his damage on his up close game is like really, really, really low. And so, like, everything I do sends you full screen where I can go back to zoning, and then you have to fight to get in. That's fine. That's zoners, right? But, like, when Robocop gets a touch up close, like, his damage output is, like, really, really low. And so it's, like, as a zoner, like, you're trying to win on health leads, and it's hard for him to maintain a health lead because his damage is so low. They could fix that by making his zoning more obnoxious, but then basically you just wouldn't get in, and he wouldn't be fun to fight. Right now, you can maneuver the obstacles course and get in if you make a couple of good reads, but when Robocop has to get you back out, it doesn't hurt. So you get in, you do your damage. Now Robocop has a life lead. Now what the fuck am I supposed to do? You just give up. It's like, well, I'm going to zone him with this low damage zoning. I'm not going to make up the life lead on zoning because that's not what zoning is designed for. It's designed for dragging out the clock. So I'm not going to make up the damage, so I got to rush him down. But, like, now I can't rush him down because I don't do any damage. So, like, I've got to get, like, 10 reads to, like, equal their one read. Basically, if you get in on Robocop and you touch him once, like, he's done. He's done. He either zones you the whole match or he doesn't do anything. And that's where people are like, yeah, but if you had mid-grab, you could do fuck blah, blah. Mid-grab doesn't even do that much damage. And you can't even combo into it off of most shit because it's a mid-grab. It only combos on launchers. Robocop has like one launcher, right? Or he has two launchers that aren't necessarily safe to just throw out. So it's not like you're capitalizing on big damage. Like, oh, I'm going to equip mid-grab so I can do big damage to maintain my health lead. Like, no. He has no way of making up that damage. Like, either make his zoning do more damage. I would say make his strings do a little bit more. Like his forward 3 string, if that did a little bit more damage, just let him get a little bit more damage when he does touch you. I'm not saying he should be doing 30%, but like Robocop shouldn't have to settle for like 186 damage. Like he should at least get like 25% like other characters. At least 25% on a touch. I think that would make Robocop fair. Then it makes a 4-touch matchup, and his zoning isn't any more cheaper than like Noob Cybot's zoning or other characters that zone. So like that's Robocop. Shao Khan, same problem as Scarlet, but like Shao Khan actually has damage, but he's also super unsafe. But Flawless Block kind of shuts down. Like Shao Kahn's built to be a plus frame pressure monster, but plus frames don't matter in this game. I just Flawless Block. So like his core defining trait, his core defining mechanic is this is a risk versus reward character who fishes for the opening, right? He does plus frames, he frame traps you, and then he goes for the risky mix up, right? The risky like forward 3-4 and all that shit. But the thing is, like, his plus frames don't matter. Like, nobody's fucking scared of his frame advantage. It's like, dude, do forward 4. Fuck you. I'm gonna Flawless Block. Don't fucking press. Don't fucking do a damn thing. Okay, you know what you got? You got forward 3, and then you better pray that I guess wrong on the mix after that, or I'm just gonna fucking blow you up. But like, if there was a way to where like Shao Kahn could guarantee his plus frames gave him extra buttons, then like he would actually be good. I would say to like fix Shao Kahn, give him a move that takes your meter, right? Just somehow, some way, if Shao Kahn had a move that took away your meter, so that way you were scared to Flawless Block and you had to respect his plus frames, I think Shao Kahn would be top tier. That's how I would fix him. But without the plus frames, Shao Kahn's a fucking joke. He's a joke. He's just not good. He hits hard, but whatever. I'll just block. And then as soon as I see forward 4 or 4-4 or any of your plus frame moves, I'm going to Flawless Block. And if you don't press, I'm going to make that read, and I'm just going to start mashing on your plus frames because I know you're not going to press. Rambo is low tier just because, like, Rambo's core kit is really, really good, but, like, his fucking customs are, like, kind of whack. Like, he needs his custom moves to function. Like, he, again, is like Devora, right? If he has the wrong build, like, he's kind of done. But if he has the right build, he can get started. The problem is, even if he has the right build, like, the gaps are pretty obnoxious. Like, if you have, like, the grabs, like, he doesn't have a lot of tick throws. So, like, his whole grappling play style is kind of weak. Like, the zoning play style with Rambo is... It's not bad, but it's kind of dry. There's nothing that a zoning Rambo does that Garrus doesn't do better. There's not anything that a grappling Rambo does that every other grappler doesn't do better. Rambo needs ticks. If he could tick off more strings, Rambo instantly becomes top tier. It looks like they built him to be a character that can like zone you and stick and move, but when he gets in, it's like scary because you don't know where he's going to hit you. But his high-low mix-ups are reactable and kind of a gimmick. And his grab mix-ups are predictable. Like, you know where the grab setups are going to be. And, like, it's not like he gets a lot off of them. It's not like Kotal Khan where if I read the grab setup wrong, of which Kotal Khan has, like, 50 grab setups, right? If I read one of these 50 setups wrong, I'm dead. But if I read it right, I can fight back. With Rambo, it's like, okay, there are, like, 3 grab setups. And if I read them wrong, like, he gets, like, 90 damage, right? He doesn't even get, like... grab levels of damage, and like if he guesses wrong and I blow him up, like he dies. That's the problem with Rambo, is just like he gets kind of predictable, and he's very unsafe when he's predictable. If they were going to fix Rambo, I would say give him more ticks. If Rambo had more ticks, it would make his grappler build scarier, and it would actually complement his zoning, because he only needs like 1 or 2 slots to have a zoning build. So you can have a zoning build and have like decent ticks as well. I think that'd be a pretty fun character, right? It'd be like Garrus, but with more utility, right? And then bottom tier is Kronika. Can't even pick her. She doesn't even exist in the game. She's not even DLC. But that's my tier list. I know you guys are going to shit on me for it. You're going to complain. I ignored chat while I streamed this. I ignored chat all the way. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. I don't even know if this is recording or streaming correctly. I don't give a shit. I don't do tier list content. But I did because you guys bug me about it all the time. So that's my tier list. Feel free to like, comment, and share, and complain, and get mad. Go ahead and cancel. It's a hashtag cancel the badger because he said Kronika is bottom tier. Yeah, fuck you guys. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.